everyone. Today I am going to demonstrate how to make the biscuit pizzas. They're a really good snack, but they're also can be for a meal. So I'm going to show you how to make those, and then we'll be making them in class, and I hope you make them at home. Okay, so I've already washed my hands, so I'm ready to get started. Step 1 on my instruction sheet says to preheat the oven to 375 degrees. So I've already gone to my oven and turned it on and set it to 375. It's really important whenever you're baking that you set the temperature about 15 minutes before you want to put something in the oven. With microwaves, you can just put food in the microwave, push the time and start, and it just starts cooking the food. But that's not the way an oven works. An oven has to preheat. It takes about 15 minutes to get up to that temperature that you need. So I've already preheated the oven. Okay, so now I'm gonna look at step 2. Step 2 says spray a small amount of cooking spray on a baking sheet. Okay, so I've got my regular cooking spray here, and I've got a baking sheet. And what I like to do is hold the can about 1 can away from the baking sheet. So 1 length away, because sometimes kids will hold it really close and then they'll get a big greasy glob in one spot. So if you hold it about a can width away and sweep it back and forth, it gives you a nice layer that helps those biscuits not to stick to the pan. And it gives it a nice crispiness to the bottom of the biscuit. Okay, so now I'm on step 3. Step 3 says to dice the toppings into small pieces. So actually we're going to have 3 different toppings for our mini pizzas today in class. I've got sliced black olives, green pepper, and onion. But of course, if you make these mini pizzas at home, you can put on whatever toppings you like. I recommend the mini pepperoni because they're a little smaller than, they're about half size of a regular pepperoni, and they're just like the perfect size for these little snack pizzas. You can put on sausage, you can put on chorizo, but just make sure that you cook those meats first. Now pepperoni is already cooked, so you can just put it right on. But if you put any kind of sausage on the pizza, you have to cook it in a frying pan first. All right, so what we're doing today is we're using olives, onion, and green pepper. So I'm gonna show you how to get them ready. So first of all, with the green pepper, you need to cut off the stem. Now the green pepper is hangs down from the plant, sort of like a tomato hangs down from the plant. And what you do is you take your paring knife and you simply cut in a circle around the stem. Okay? And then you grab that with your hand and pull it right out. And that brings the seeds too. And then you do the same thing with the bottom. And then just cut around the bottom in a circle and then pull that out. Then you look inside your green pepper, and if you see any of the white membrane, you can just kind of rip that off with your fingers. And then we'll set that aside and rinse it off in a second. All right, so now I'm gonna get my onion ready. Okay, onion is a really good topping on pizza. A lot of people are afraid to have onion on pizza because they don't like onion. But if you're like me, you don't really like onion on Subway sandwiches or plain onion on other things. But on pizza, I love it. It just gives the pizza a nice kind of little bit of a spicy flavor, but you don't really taste just like a chunk of onion. It's really good. So to get the onion ready, what you do is you're gonna cut off the top where the green leaves were attached and cut off the bottom where the roots were attached. And actually the onion grows underground. This part was under the soil, and then just the green shoots were sticking out. So we're gonna hold the onion sideways on our cutting board, keeping those fingers curved, cut off the top of the onion and throw that away. Turn it, cut off the bottom of the onion and throw that away. And then we're gonna peel the onion because we get rid of the outside layer. This is pretty simple. What I like to do is kind of make a slice through the outside layer, and then that gives it's easier to grab it and then pull off that outside layer of onion. and then we'll throw that away. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is walk over to my sink so I can rinse these. Okay, so over at my sink, I'm going to turn on the cold water, and I'm going to rinse this one, the green pepper, and also rinse the inside. That'll get rid of the seeds for you, and then give your onion a little rinse of cold water. Okay, I'm going to take these back over to my demonstration table. And then what I'm going to do is just cut the onion and green pepper. So I have a little bit of diced green onion and green pepper just for 10 biscuits or 10 pizzas. Won't take very much. So I'm going to take and slice the onion. I'll hold it sideways, and my fingers are curved so that I don't cut my fingertips. And we'll cut off one slice of onion. And then I'm going to dice that. So I'm going to go ahead, fingers curved, and put the tip down on my knife first, and then rock it back and forth until I get some nice, small, diced onion. Okay. And then with the green pepper, the first thing I'm going to do is cut it in half, like that, okay? And then I'm going to cut probably 2 pepper strips. Now I could take these and just eat them like plain. I could dip them in veggies dip. That would be really good. But for today, I'm going to dice them so I can put them on my mini pizza. And like I said, at home, you can put on whatever toppings you like on your pizza. Okay, so now I am on step 4. 4 says, using your fingers, flatten each biscuit on the baking sheet. Okay, so I have a can of refrigerated biscuits, and I'm going to look at the side for the arrow. This is where you peel off the paper. And then we can throw that away. And then you're gonna look to where the seam is, where the cardboard comes together in the can. And you're gonna push right on that seam. Oh, it always surprises me when it pops open. You're gonna push on the seam until it pops open, and then you'll have 10 biscuits in here to work with. So it says I'm gonna flatten each biscuit with my fingers. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them on my cookie sheet and start to flatten them out. Now you wanna make them as big as possible so that you can fit lots of sauce and cheese on. And also, after you flatten them, they kind of spring back into place. I'll just push it. If you get a little hole, just kind of push it back together. Fill in that hole. And you really don't have to worry about if they're touching. You can really squish these on one pan. It's fine because they don't spread out like cookies do. They actually kind of shrink up a little bit as they sit here. One thing to note is don't play with the biscuit dough, like play with it like it's Play-Doh, because the more that you work with it, the more elastic it gets, the more it like springs back into shape. So if you play with it a lot before you put it on your baking sheet, as you spread it out, it's going to try to spring back into its original size. So don't mess with it, just spread it out as much as you can on your baking sheet. Okay, so now I'm ready to go to step 5. 5 says, spoon sauce on each biscuit. So I look at the top, I need a 1/2 cup of pizza sauce. So I'm going to use a liquid measuring cup because pizza sauce is a liquid. And I bought this pizza sauce at Walmart. It's the generic one, but they have all different kinds of different pizza sauces, different brands. They also have pizza sauce at Kroger and probably lots of different grocery stores. However, at our grocery store in our town, they don't carry pizza sauce. So if you can't find pizza sauce where you're shopping or you don't have any at your home, you can use spaghetti sauce. Spaghetti sauce is okay to use. It just doesn't have the exact same spices as ingredients as pizza sauce, but it'll be okay. It'll still taste good. So I'm gonna get a half a cup of pizza sauce. So I'm gonna get down eye level and pour it to the half a cup wide. Okay. And then I like to use a tablespoon to apply the sauce because it kind of gives you just the perfect amount, but you can use just a regular spoon too. So I'm gonna get a little less than a full tablespoon and then spread that out with the bottom of my tablespoon, like that. Now when my daughter was younger, she liked to have friends over, of course, and have like slumber parties. And a lot of times she would ask me if they could make these for supper or for a snack, because they are fun to make and everybody can make their own. I would like get pepperoni, put it in a bowl. I'd fry up some sausage, cut up some different toppings, have some pineapple, ham, and then I would put all the toppings out and let the girls make their own pizzas. So it was they liked it because they could put on whatever toppings they like. Plus it was kind of a fun activity for them too. It's also a good thing to make if you're babysitting because the kids can really do a lot of the help. All right, so now I am on step 6. Step 6 says sprinkle on the cheese on each biscuit and add the toppings. For cheese, I need 1 cup. So I'm gonna use my 1 cup dry measuring cup and I'm gonna get 1 cup of cheese. Now, this is a really large bag of cheese. You don't need to buy something this large at your grocery store. I have to do this demonstration for a lot of classes at my school. So I bought the large bag, but you can just buy a regular bag. This is mozzarella cheese, which is your traditional Italian cheese that goes on pizza. So I'm gonna add a little bit of the mozzarella cheese on each biscuit. And as a tip, you wanna make sure you don't have any cheese touching the pan, because wherever cheese is touching the pan, it's gonna burn there. It's gonna burn and stick to the pan, and then it's really a pain in the butt to try to wash off. So try not to have any cheese touching the side of the pan. And you don't have to add a lot of cheese because it does melt and kind of spread out over the whole biscuit. Now, if you want to experiment, you can try different cheeses and different blends of cheeses. They actually sell at the store. It's called Pizza Blend. And it's a blend usually of 3 different Italian cheeses, mozzarella, Parmesan, and probably something else. And that's really good too. You can also do kind of your own blending, and you could put some mozzarella on. You can use the shaker from the Parmesan that you put on your spaghetti and shake some Parmesan on there. I do that at home sometimes, it's really good. And you can even try cheddar or other cheeses like that. I'm a little bit short on that last one, so I'm just gonna get a little more cheese on there. All right, and then again, like I said, make sure no cheese is touching the pan, just to make it easier to wash later. So now I'm gonna add the toppings. Now I like it when students try different foods. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to add just 1 black olive to every pizza. And then I'm gonna add 1 onion, 1 piece of onion to every pizza, and 1 green pepper. Now I know that some people have toppings they like or they don't like, but I like it when kids are brave and try different foods. And this is a great time to try foods because, you know, maybe you don't want to spend, you know, $20 on ordering a pizza with black olives all over it if you don't know if you like them or not. But when you make mini pizza, it's a great time to experiment and try different toppings because you're not putting it over the whole thing. You can just try different toppings on each one. So it's a really great time to experiment with toppings when you're making mini pizza. And now I'm gonna put a green pepper on each one. But of course, like I said, if you're making these at home, you can put on whatever toppings you like. One of my favorites is pineapple pizza, where you use ham, onion, and pineapple, which is like Hawaiian. It's really good. Pineapple on pizza, it sounds odd, but it really is good. Okay, so for me, I'm not a big onion fan, but I love it on pizza. So now I've got the toppings on. So now I look back at my recipe and I'm on step 7, bake for 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm gonna bring it over here to my oven. Like I said, I already have it preheated, okay? So I'm gonna use 2 hot pads. Now, if you're nervous about cooking, you might wanna get one of these oven mitts, okay? Especially when you're new and just learning, it might make you feel a little more comfortable to use an oven mitt. If you're using a hot pad, you just kind of hold it like this, like you're like a puppet, okay? You're gonna open the door all the way. Now notice I'm standing to the side, kind of in the corner. And I'm gonna open the door all the way. This is extremely important to open it all the way. Then I'm gonna use 2 hands and I'm gonna hold the baking sheet very flat. You don't wanna tip it because then your toppings can fall off, okay? Holding it very flat, and I'm gonna set it sideways on the top shelf. Be really careful you don't brush your inside of your arm on this part right here. You don't touch any surface, including the inside of the door, without a hot pad because you can burn yourself very badly. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the door, and then it says bake for 10 to 12 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my timer for the lowest possible time for 10 minutes. It's always important to set your timer for the lowest possible time because they could be done in 10 minutes. What we're gonna do is in 10 minutes when the timer goes off, you're gonna open the door a little bit and take a peek. What you're looking for is a nice golden brown crust, just like the color of pizza like you would like, if you ordered a pizza from a restaurant. So look for that golden brown crust on the edges. When the crust is golden brown, then they're done. Of course, you're gonna use your 2 hot pads again, and then pull it straight out. Now be careful because the biscuits can slide really easily on the baking sheet. You don't want them to slide off. So pick it up straight, pull it out very straight, and put it on top of the stove. Then you're gonna let them cool for about a minute, and then you can use your pancake turner to lift them off the cookie sheet and onto the people's plates. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this recipe and that you tried it at home. Thanks for watching. Bye.